So how do we convert negative 5 pi over 4 radians into degrees? The first thing is you want to know a relationship between radians and degrees. In other words, we know that pi radians, I'm just going to abbreviate it with rad, is equivalent to 180 degrees. So in other words, about 3.14 radians is equivalent to 180 degrees. Or in other words, 1 radian, therefore, would be equivalent to about 57.3 degrees. Now, you don't need to know this one because it's a little less exact. It's a decimal. This one is the exact relationship. You might also know it as 2 pi radians, right? You might have seen that before. Is equivalent to 360 degrees. They're all the same thing. All right? They're all the same thing. 1 radian is just like a little less than 60 degrees of measurement. Sometimes, if you think about it this way, it kind of helps make sense, right? Once we start seeing like pi, I start thinking about dessert. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the first one I wrote. You could have used any one you liked there, but the first one I'm going to use. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our given radian measurement, okay, of negative 5 pi over 4. Now the unit's radians here, but you can put this unit in the numerator. It doesn't matter if it's multiplied by it or in the numerator, they mean the exact same thing. So now what I'm going to do is then take that and multiply it by now my known relationship here. Now here's the thing. We don't want radians anymore. We want them to cancel. So if I have the unit of radians in the numerator here, I'm going to put that unit in the denominator, okay? In the denominator. Now what I'm going to do though is I'm going to take my known value here and plug that into the denominator. See how the radians are now in the denominator there? So what happens there is the radians now get canceled. That's a great thing, okay? But where's my degrees? Oh, well, wait, am I just going to take this and plug it on in then in the numerator? And yes, that's exactly how we do it, okay? So now if you notice, the degrees won't cancel. We don't want them to cancel because we want our answer in terms of degrees. And now all you have to do is start simplifying, right? So here you have a pi and you have a pi here. Please don't cross multiply. This is not a cross multiplication. This is a regular multiplication. You're going to multiply straight across just like this, meaning horizontally, not diagonally. And therefore, when you do that, these will cancel. Okay, what's pi divided by essentially pi? Well, obviously it's just 1. Okay, so they cancel nicely. Then the other thing we can do is we can take a look and we realize that, well, what about this? Can we reduce the 4 and the 180? Sure, right? We can reduce that. That becomes a 1, and that becomes a 45, meaning 4 goes into 180 degrees. 4 goes into 180 45 times, right? Or in other words, 45 goes into 180 4 times. So now all we need to do is basically just multiply this on out. So what's left here? Well, we have nothing in the denominator, so that's fine. Everything canceled. And all we have now is a negative 5 times then a 45. Okay, negative 5 times a 40. So this works out to cleanly now, negative 5 radians times then 45 degrees will then be equal to what? Well, just got to do 5 times 45, right? So just take out the calculator if you want, do 5 times 45. It's 225. 225. And wait a minute. Andrew, did you forget? No, I didn't forget. Just seeing if you caught it. It's negative. But the negative comes along for the ride. So negative 225 degrees. Remember, all that negative sign means is that we're just rotating clockwise around the unit circle. Check out some of our other videos in this section for angles where we were graphing certain types of angles in standard position. And I explained that very thoroughly in there. All right, check out the playlist here on our channel. Just go to angles, the angles playlist under the math section, and you'll be able to find those videos. All right. So thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.